favorite humans.
We're back and it's 2020. How different do you feel?
And the world is still standing.
Kind of.
I feel really, really, really different. Like, I'm a whole new me.
I don't think so.
I'm just kidding. I'm this exact same.
It's just crazy how in one day, like in 1 minute from 11:59 to 12 o'clock that it becomes a new year. I still don't believe it. Somebody's like pulling wool over our eyes or something.
See, I'm the opposite. Like, I am so nonchalant about it. Like, I'm like, yeah, of course it's a new year. Like, we've all been talking about it for the past month and a half. Like, yeah. And, like, I'm celebratory about it, but, like, I don't feel as, like, oh, my gosh.
We're going to change our whole entire lives because one day happened and then the next day is here and then it's the next year.
I'm just, like, extremely just, like, practical person and, like, I feel like another word that describes me good is, like, in reality or another phrase. And so I'm like, yeah, of course it's a new year. We knew it was going to be a new year.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but I feel the same. Like, I don't feel much different. It's just here. That's it. But talking about New Year's, a lot of people focus on resolutions, and we think that's really, like, important for some people, but I don't really like to focus on the word resolution. Yeah. You do the same way, right?
Yeah. No, I just think that sometimes, we talked about it last episode, but sometimes we set such a high bar for whatever our resolution or, you know, all the things we want to do, which is awesome. I think it's really great to have a high bar set. But sometimes we fall off the tracks because we went from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
And we didn't really set something more attainable or really, like, accomplish a few things.
Realistic.
All to add up to a higher standard. So.
Yeah, you should take your time with doing things. But in that, you were telling me earlier about you were meeting up with your friend and she mentioned something.
Yeah. And shout out to my friend Amy because this is a really good conversation we had at breakfast this morning. Amy was being really kind and telling me that she was listening to our podcast, so thank you for that. But we were talking just about the new year and exactly what we just said right now. And something that we said was that sometimes most of the times, we're not on the same track as all of our friends in life, and especially, you know, as you get older, that continues to change. People's lives are different. Some people get married, some people have kids, some people don't, some people... you know, like travel, some people move, you know.
Traditional milestones.
It just really can change as when you're younger, you know, versus when you're younger, you kind of are all on a similar track for the most part. And we were just saying that it's so fun to celebrate so many of the bigger milestones, like some that I just mentioned. But we also said that sometimes because those bigger milestones are more traditional, that we sometimes forget about the more subtle, smaller per se, milestones of other people that may not be crossing the same traditional milestones.
Give an example.
Like marriage and like kids and like, you know, buying a house or you know, moving to a different city. You know, all of those are so amazing and we've celebrated in so many people, Sarah and I were talking about, but our lives are a little bit different than those people. And we were just saying that, you know, we can't feel lower or smaller because we don't have the same traditional milestones yet, but we still do things like get new jobs or, you know, get new titles or accomplish new fitness tasks or health related things.
And that would be more of a subtle one.
Yeah. So we were just saying the importance of celebrating, of course, the awesome traditional ones, but also the celebration of, you know, the sparkle that the more smaller ones bring.
Well, the common goal for one person is definitely different for another person.
Yeah.
And I agree because you and I, at this point in our lives, are not going a traditional path. So, yeah, it's exciting for the people that are, but we need to recognize what we like to do and the goals that we hit. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just going along with comparing yourself with other people too.
And that's
to
what
other
we were
people.
saying. Yeah.
And that's just like, you know, a human thing to do.
I know. Why is it so hard, though, for you to catch yourself in the moment when you're comparing yourself to, like, why is it so hard for all of us to be like, okay, stop?
And social media doesn't help either.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. I think that I love social media. I'm not going to stand here and be like, oh, no, social media is the devil. But it can...
Same. I'm like a scroller mixed scrollsties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like way too often. Like,
Scrolls
just
McGee.
catch myself for hours and hours. But we don't encourage that.
No.
It just happens. But what I'm saying is that being in our face all the time doesn't help make it easier to not compare yourself to other people. Not. I don't know why it's like that. I'm not going to say that I don't battle with it. I definitely do. But I think that since I'm like enjoying life right now,
Yeah.
in case everybody doesn't know, I am happy. I just bring up weird things sometimes. That I think that when you find happiness in your life, then you kind of stop comparing yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
It could be different by person to person. But.
Yeah. So this is all of our topic rolled into one today is that, setting some goals for yourself is great. And what's even greater is if you can stick to them. And we think just from our own experience that setting more attainable, maybe more subtle things that are within your control are just as good as traditional higher goals, and whatever works for you works for you. Some people do better with that higher setting of goals, but not so much, worried about like really getting all the way from 0 to 60, but what happens along the way.
Don't pressure yourself into doing something like you see people getting engaged on Instagram, which I have in the past like month. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
run holidays.
I'm not going to run to Jimmy and be like, okay, get down on one knee. Like, I'm not going to do that. But some people feel that way.
But even if you did, that's okay too, if that was your goal. But your goal is different from some of those people who would go and talk to their boyfriends about that. And that's fine too. So what we're saying is, don't look around at other people's goals and say, I need to have the same goals. It's okay if you're inspired by people around you. That's always great fuel.
Yeah.
But look at yourself after you've looked at those around you for inspiration, and then say to yourself, but what do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish?
What is something that's going to be good for me? It's not going to be the same as others. Sometimes it will be, and sometimes it's attractive to see what other people are accomplishing, and that can be motivation for you too. Like, example for me, one of the things that I'm doing in this like first week of the new year and stuff like that, I'm checking out other gyms that I've never been to before, because this is a secret for everybody. Well, not for you, but for everybody, that I like working out is really intimidating for me, because I've never been a person that grew up playing sports, was really into like gym class and stuff like that. And I know that some people are, but I never was. It's intimidating to me because it's foreign.
Yeah, it's
so I'm like going to different gyms, and that's a big step for me, and trying them out and seeing which one I like the best. And like, that's my small step for myself to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
Some people like working out can be different for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's my little step into the new year.
Yeah.
But it's not like a crazy goal, like I don't want to lose 10 pounds. But, and if you do, then that's great. But for me, just walking into the gym is a big step for me.
Yeah. And really you can't attain any goal if you don't set yourself up for a path of sustaining it. Doing it for a week isn't good enough, and it's okay if you fall off. It's just about how you get back on again, and you are the only one who can hold yourself accountable to that.
Absolutely.
So think of whatever is going to make you a better version of you. Like, I don't like New Year, New Me, because I really just feel like, well, there's nothing wrong with you, though. There doesn't need to be a new you, but there can be a better version of you. You can improve it, and you can
It's a good way of saying
shine it up a little bit if you feel a little dull.
Dust a little dirt off the shoulders.
Yes, that's right. So think of how you can look around, be inspired by others, but then bring it back to you and figure out something that's sustainable for you. You can really crush it this week, this month, this year, one step at a time.
Absolutely.
Shall we talk about the human highlight?
Shall.
Okay. You want to go first?
Sure.
Go.
I traveled to Brooklyn this weekend, actually, 2 days ago now, and I saw one of my very best friends in the whole world, and I was with two of them, actually, and I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to both of them.
Aww.
How about that? I doubled up my human highlight.
I know, but give a little background on how long you've known.
So I grew up with my one best friend, Anna, I think we met each other when we were like 11 years old.
Yeah, you guys were young.
And then...
Youngins!
And then I met Kat in 2011, so what was I?
What? How am I so much older than you? Like,
I don't know
that I am, but
we're going
I
on...
don't feel like I am.
We're going on 10...
Yeah.
Maybe it was 10 years. Anyway, so we've known them both for a really long time, and there's a very rare, like, time that we get to see each other all together. We'll see each other separately. I hang out with Anna all the time, but Kat lives in Los Angeles, and she's moving back to the East Coast, which I'm very happy about, and I was really excited to see her and just hang out with her.
That was the clap.
You can't hear me when you put the clap on.
The clap for Kat moving back.
Thank you, Kat, for moving back. And it was really good to be with them all together because I don't think we've done that in years. So my human highlight is just to the people that keep me shiny, and I just was with them for not even 24 hours, but I had the best time in my life, and I haven't had that good of a time in a while. So,
and I think that reverts back to something you talked about a couple episodes ago with like fulfillment, and just being present, and like obviously it took effort to do all the logistics so the three of you could be together.
Yeah, but
you made it happen, and sometimes things just fall into place like that.
It actually wasn't hard at all. We actually like changed the date for going, took a bus there, took a bus back. Yeah, very easy, and we had such a good time. It was just good quality time with my favorite humans.
That's awesome.
How about you?
So my human highlight was actually this morning again. As Amy and I were eating breakfast, our waitress came up to us and was like, did someone already come by and tell you this? And we kind of looked at her like, what you talking about, sister?
My car's on fire?
And she was like, oh, your check was taken care of.
What?
And we were like, yes, exactly. What? And she was like, and I wanted to show you who they were, but they already left. And basically all they said was, someone took care of our check this weekend or whatever it was, and we're just paying it forward. So,
oh my God, I wonder how they picked you out of everybody.
That's what we said. So Amy was like,
do you think they did?
How did they pick us? And I was like, do you think there was just this aura around us being like, pay for these girls?
Why did it sound like you did? Dun, 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 dun. Like, what?
I just thought there was, like, an angelic aura around us.
There must have been. There was, like, fingers pointing to you guys that no one saw besides them. That was really nice,
I
though.
know.
That's
so then we were like, oh, my gosh, like, exactly that. So nice, blah, blah, blah. And then we're like, wait, but we have to do it now. So we did the same, and we did it for someone. But we weren't as slick. Like, we forgot that once we paid, we should probably, like, skedaddle so it could be mysterious.
Yeah, and then you didn't do it.
And then,
they were pointing at you.
The waitress told them. They walked in like, thank you so much. And we were like, oh, my gosh, we forgot we did. Awesome.
No, but that's just an example of paying it forward.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't conquer world peace or anything like that, but just by someone doing that for you, you felt like you should do it for the next one person. And that's how we keep kindness rolling in this world. And that's something inspiring. Maybe I'll pay for somebody's drink later on today. You should.
Well, it's so funny because within whatever time limit that was, like within like a half hour, somebody paid for us, we paid for somebody's, and they will probably pay for someone else's or do something else kind. So it's like, you don't realize how contagious your energy and small efforts are.
It's crazy.
And we talk about it all the time on here. Youre Sparkled. You cannot let it get dull because you don't understand always who is feeding off of it.
Yeah.
Total strangers could really be feeding off of it. And, you just have to do it not to get it back.
Yeah.
But do it
because it makes you feel good.
But do it to better others. It's not for you. Do it to better others and give somebody else maybe some of the good energy that they need.
Is it selfish to feel good by doing good to others?
No, but I'm saying like that couldn't be like, that doesn't need to be the full reason why you do it. You're doing it to give to somebody else, not to get back, You're
right. So this is like kind of different than what we were just talking about. But I thought a segment that we should do on the show, just because we're sisters and we're very honest with each other, is our weird habits that we have.
I love this so much because I know all y'all out there, someone's going to identify with something we say.
And even if you don't admit it, you do it, and we know you do.
Yeah, and they might be like a little crossing the line.
They're definitely crossing the line because I can definitely have...
But we won't be like really, really gross because our mother and father listen to this. So.
Well, they know we do it, so whatever. I don't care. Okay, should you go first because I just went first.
But you just brought up the weird habits.
Fine, I'll do it. Okay, this one is actually gross. So like, I'm sorry if I'm grossing anybody out. But I have like a really bad mucus problem, and I had to like hawk loogie sometimes. I don't like do it in front of people. I mean, well, sometimes I do.
Sometimes you do.
No, I know. Sometimes I do. Like in front of you and like Jimmy. Oh, sorry, Jim. And like, but if Daddy sees me do it, he literally smacks me. But he like literally used to do it in the car in front of me. So he set that example.